Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos about makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want. And today we're going to do like a dual video. It's going to be a get ready with me and my February favorites. A lot of things have been happening. If you follow me on Instagram, you understand all the things that have been happening like the last month. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, because you'll be able to just keep track of where I am better. I did post in my community tabs that there was a death in the family, which is why I took last week off. I just needed time to process, and it happened in the middle of like a massive home project, like massive, and the house was practically unusable, and I really needed to get it back together just to have some like sense of normalcy again. So I took the time to do that, and I'm back. I had another video planned, but I'm just not feeling hot because of the weather, so I really wasn't in the mood to... Why is my lamp off? So instead of doing my February favorites next week like I normally would, I figured I would do it now and get ready with me because I'm also taking part in this makeup challenge that I did last year for February. It's happening again. And I need to do my makeup for that. I'm just behind on a lot of stuff. And so I thought I would just combine things. Maybe I'll do these in order. I know I usually group them, but we're doing it a little different today. The first thing on my favorites list is what I'm going to use to prime. And it is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum Priming Face Serum. Whew, I am out of breath because I have asthma. My friend had sent me a sample when I bought some stuff from her. Like, she just had some samples lying around, and so she just like popped them in. And I have probably mentioned in previous videos that my skin this winter is a complete and utter disaster. So I just gave this a try, hoping it wouldn't break me out, and it didn't. The breakouts you see are from masks and sunscreen, not amazing friends. My fingers are incredibly dry. Like, life is dry right now. This, however, was really saving my booty, because, like, you could probably see I'm like flaky. Makeup is gonna look really bad today. I'm the worst on my forehead, but then like right here. So like the apples of my cheeks and here are dry. Everywhere else is fine. Nose, chin, the rest of my cheeks, temples, it's fine. It's like the middle of my forehead, like here, and then here. This has helped makeup look not awful. I will say, particularly bad today, just because there were a couple nights I did not do my exfoliating stuff, like my chemical exfoliators. The chemical exfoliators. I just washed my face, moisturized, and went to sleep, and wasn't a grand idea. But this, first of all, it looks so glowy. I want to be extra glowy today, so I'm going to add another product on top of it. But this is so nice. It adds extra hydration. It would even look great just to like wear on its own. It definitely calms my skin. It has hyaluronic acid in it. What did I do with the box? I can't see a single thing. It has some kind of fruit in it, but it smells like the original 2000s Garnier Fructis like Sleek and Shine shampoo, which I personally love and I used back in the day. So nostalgic for me. Once that's settled, I'm gonna go in with my Auric Glow Lust. Just really want to be glowy today. So, that was my first favorite. on my list. The other thing, speaking of just dry skin, is Evian facial mist, which I know is absolutely absurd. Like, who's paying for like Evian to spray on their face? And listen, I was one of those people who thought that as well. But I mean, I stopped exfoliating in all aspects, like chemical exfoliating, thinking that was part of why my skin was drying out so much. I stopped it for 2 months, and it actually made the situation even worse. I almost exclusively use Drunk Elephant products because they're very hydrating and very gentle on my skin. My skin loves them. So that was not the problem. I found, like, I was desperate. Our tap water is hard, which means it is particularly drying. If you didn't know, now you know that hard water dries your skin out. And so I was like, all right, how can I add hydration? And it said, like, spray, mist your face with water between moisturizers. Well, I can't do that with tap water because it will just dry my skin out more. So I was like, let me try this wild Evian stuff. And it has been a game changer. So it's not necessary by any means. Like I said, this was sort of an emergency situation for my skin. How I go about it is I wash it, and I don't wash my face with tap water. I use filtered or distilled water or something, which I know is also I know. But it is what it is. And then I do whatever serum. I let that soak in for 30 minutes. That way the water isn't going to, like, mess with it. And then I spritz the facial mist. And let's just go with my night routine. I apply Protini Peptide Moisturizer mixed with the B Hydra Hydration Serum. I didn't want to do this because I might have fallout. So I do the Protini Peptide and the B Hydra, and then I let that soak in for a few minutes, and then I spritz with the Evian again. And then I go in with a layer of CeraVe in the tub. I let that soak in. I spritz yet again with the Evian. And then I apply marula oil. And then to set it all, I apply Vaseline. Now, that has been helping a lot. However, my skin is still mildly dry to where, like, I'm gonna zoom you. Like, look at this. Again, it's a little worse than it probably would be had I been doing the exfoliating situation this entire time. But I still get those little crusties when I apply makeup this time of year, even doing all of that. But I will say, it would look this bad rather than slightly improved if I wasn't using the Evian face mist. So if you are finding yourself in the dilemma of literally nothing is working for you, you really, really need some extra hydration or something, then I do recommend giving that a shot. It is definitely a luxury. It is not a need, but, you know, like you could see, like, my hand, if it wants to focus, maybe. It's almost like painful, like the dry skin. So for me, it was a luxury. I could have found other options, right? Used a spray bottle with, like, the filtered water, but this was just more convenient because it wasn't, I was a little worried if I used a regular spray bottle that it would be too much water. This is just a very fine mist, so that's that. Let's talk a TV show real quick. I'm gonna do my eyes because I think this is gonna have some fallout, so we're just gonna stop there. I was just on autopilot. I started I know I mentioned this when I put True Detective season 1 in my favorites. I started season 2, and it was so bad and so boring, and it made no sense. I was so confused. I felt like I had walked into a room in the middle of a conversation, and by middle of the conversation, I mean they had been talking for hours about the same thing, and I just came in and was like nodding and smiling about it, like, yeah, okay, sure. I have no idea what was happening, and it was incredibly boring because you didn't know what was going on in any capacity, so it was kind of hard to care. So season 2 is a flop. I got through 1.5 episodes, and if I'm being honest, that was way more than it deserved of my time, because they're not like 20-minute episodes, you know. But I tried. I really tried, and it was a big old flop. And like I had mentioned in that video, I had heard that season 3 went back to being as good as season 1. Dare I say, season 3, I'm not 100% done, but I'm like almost done. Season 3, better than season 1. And not even dare I say, I'm gonna say it. Season 3 is better than season 1. Season 3 is about missing children. 2 children go missing. 1 is found, 1 is not. And I think the most fascinating thing is it follows the characters in 3 different timelines, which isn't hard to follow, because in the first couple of times they do it, they mark it on the screen, like what year you're watching. But then they very distinctly change the characters' hair and clothes. That's like very obvious if you're in 1980, 1990, or what was the present, which I think it was 2017. The acting is out of this world good. It's just so good. The storyline is so interesting and compelling. I love, the jumping around, because sometimes like you'll get a mild cliffhanger in the episode because something will happen in 1980 and then we're jumping to what's happening in 2017. So you have to wait 20 or 30 minutes to, get your answer to the cliffhanger. And I know a lot of people don't like stuff like that. I personally loved it. It's so good. I'm not going to give a ton away. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But yeah, missing children. 1 is found and 1 isn't. So all the timelines are following the family's grief. The 1 detective who found the 1 missing child, his trauma and grief, and his dedication to the case. It shows the other detective's dedication to the family, and it's just really good. It's really interesting, and I loved season 1. I thought Matthew McConaughey in particular was phenomenal, but this season, the actors, specifically the main detective that we're following, is just so fantastic. So definitely a favorite. I only have a few food items. February is a short month, so not a ton in there, but I feel like I just want to mention a couple other things I didn't write down that I've really been enjoying. 2 YouTubers I found recently who have just immediately become favorites are Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez. Drew Gooden specifically is my favorite. His videos are so funny. So if you're into comedy, commentary, Drew Gooden does commentary. He also does a few other things that are just kind of you know, he'll buy a bunch of stuff that were ads to him on Instagram or Facebook or something. Very funny. Start talking about some food. The first thing is, like, they were for Valentine's Day, and I don't know if they're going to bring them back or into some other type of holiday candy, or if they're going to just make them permanent. There were these Hershey's Melt-Away Kisses, and you would think, like, okay, maybe that sounds maybe like it'd be too much, too rich to have, like, a melty chocolate center in chocolate, even though Hershey's are technically solid chocolate, but it's more of like a fudgy chocolate based on the packaging. And I loved them. I thought they were the perfect amount of chocolate, like, flavor. A little more than your average Kiss, like a little more creamy, which I appreciated. I love a regular Kiss, but it was definitely more of like a luxurious chocolate experience having that melt-away center. So if you find those, I highly recommend them. Another thing on my list was I checked to see if I had mentioned it before, because I felt like I had. It wasn't on any of my lists, but that doesn't mean I didn't throw it in a video last minute. The gluten-free breaded shrimp from Trader Joe's. I love seafood. Popcorn shrimp was absolutely one of my favorite foods, but you know, gluten, am I right? So they had released those a few months ago, and I grabbed a bag. Just one, because you don't know if you like them or not. And they're fantastic. They're super easy to cook. If you have an air fryer, which I love having an air fryer, it's 5 minutes in the air fryer. The Buffalo Wild Wings Parmesan garlic sauce is so good. I particularly like it as a salad dressing. It gives me vibes of a Caesar dressing with a little bit of spice in it, and I'm a big fan. Something I've very much been enjoying lately is putting the shrimp, those gluten-free shrimp, on a salad and then using that as dressing. It's next level good. The next food item are the Char Table Entertainment Crackers, which are basically a dupe for, like, Ritz. I had been hunting for them, and they were very much out of stock for a while because of the holidays, which I wasn't surprised. And if I want them for the holidays, and I gotta get them early. They're so good. They taste exactly like Ritz. And I'm almost a year into being gluten-free now, so I realize that my tastes have adapted to gluten-free food. So if you are new to gluten-free, they're probably not going to be as amazing as I think they are, but they are really good. The Oikos 000 lemon, what is it? I don't know, there'll be a picture on the screen. It tastes like a lemon meringue pie, and if you want to take it to that extra next level, put some graham crackers in it. And if you're looking for gluten-free graham crackers, get the Pamela's. I tried the Char ones today, and they had no flavor. They kind of just tasted like regular crackers. They weren't sweet or anything. I was incredibly disappointed. So, yeah, put a little graham cracker in there, and it's literally like a pie, and I can't get enough. I bought the banana cream one this week. I haven't tried that yet, though, so I can't give you my feedback. Okay, I have something on here that is not, well, two things. I think I mentioned in my last video, like my phone. So we're going to touch on that again because I've had it even longer now. I think we're done blending, so I can finish this. I'm loving the phone. It's one of those things that, for me, how you know you have a good cell phone is if you forget that you just got a new cell phone. Like, sure, it's cute if you're doing, like, a huge upgrade. Like, you haven't had a new cell phone in, like, 8 years. I don't know how you got lucky enough to have a phone last that long, but let's say it's been 8 years. Then, you know, you're learning all these new things phones can do, and it's pretty exciting. There have been a lot of cool features on this phone that, like, I didn't have on the other ones. I am learning some new things, but overall, I'm not having to think about it. My phone is just working. One of the things I didn't exactly notice with the one that I just stopped using, like how much of an issue it had become was like how many of my apps were not working, or at minimum were doing just like strange things. And now they all just work. So that has been a good relief. Good relief? I'm just saying words at this point. I'm very happy for what I do and just a hobby. Like, I have always loved photography. I've always loved taking pictures of anything and everything I could get my hands on. The camera on this is amazing. There was a bit of a learning curve because it like kind of processes the photos down to be like noticeably darker than you would like them to be. Thankfully, I know quite a bit about photo editing. I'm not an expert, but I know enough as an amateur about photo editing to edit my photos exactly how I want it, and the camera quality is just so great. So because I know how to edit my photos exactly how I want them, it isn't a huge deal, but I could see that bothering some people. So if you are looking at the Pixel, know that you're not imagining it. The photos are darker, and there is a easy way to, in the settings, in the tools, like a photo, edit the photo in the stock. You know, you don't need a program. Like in the stock photo thing, there's a little tool called HDR, and you just fiddle with that until it looks correct. What it does is it's pretty much just like a brightness setting, but it isn't brightness. Just FYI, it is not called brightness. It's HDR specifically, but it does adjust the brightness of the photo, and it makes it look much more natural. So besides that one little thing, which I just want to give a disclaimer, you know, so you're not like, oh, I hate this and I hate the camera, I hate whatever. Like, my issue with Samsung is their cameras are good, but it makes everything look too yellow. The issue with Apple is it makes everything look too pink. The Pixel is 100% accurate, in my opinion, except when it processes the photo and makes it too dark. Anyway, the phone is still definitely a favorite, second month. And I want to add, like, my phone case. Look how cute that is, those froggos. It's Casetify. I know, like, lots of people partner with Casetify, so I was kind of like, I mean, I don't know if it's just kind of a scam or if people actually like this or they're just getting their paycheck. But with the Samsung I had, you couldn't get, like, cute cases because it was, like, one of the budget phones. It was, like, the Fan Edition Galaxy, I think. So I just had a plain case. Casetify offers cases for the Pixel, cute cases, and I was like, you know, I'm going to try it. Now, they're made to order, so it took a while, like 3 weeks, I think. However, it's a very sturdy case. It's a very nice case. Even had, like, this little sticker you scan to authenticate it because they're having issues with, like, companies pretending to be them and selling these really cheap cases that kind of like tarnish their brand because people think it's actually Casetify. So if you're looking for somebody who is not sponsored, I have no idea who I am. I didn't use anyone's code, so nobody influenced me. Well, that's a lie. You're always influenced by, like, people suggesting things. I didn't get it, you know, convinced, like my favorite YouTuber told me it was amazing and I just bought into it and it isn't actually good. No, it is legitimately good. It's a very good case. No strings attached here. So that is definitely a favorite for me. I'm just gonna finish this up and I'll be back because I literally have nothing else to say. At least I can't think of anything else to say. I'll see you in a minute. If you had any favorites from February you think I would like, please let me know down in the comments. I love to hear it. Also, if you like any of the things I like, let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.